Let's all say, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvijesa Sunyavadi Ashtarane Jai. Welcome back, everyone. Who was not here last night? You weren't here. Were you here? No. So, yeah, three. And you were here, right?
Who was not here? I was not here.
Yes, right. And all the men were here. We're missing our fearless leader because he's at Dr. Woodward's intelligent design presentation. But he's going to hear the recordings. Who remembers what the name of the lesson was last night?
Guru, one and different.
That's one point, but the spiritual masters, plural, right? Yeah. If the Africans can say it takes a village to raise a child, we can say it takes a sampradaya to raise a sadhaka. The Diksha Guru is a very important person in that process, but he's not the only person, and that was one of the things we're trying to correct in ISKCON. So on behalf of our GBC Strategic Planning Committee called Srila Prabhupada's Position, welcome to our Founder Acaraya series. This is lesson 2. The last night was kind of a little brief tour through Guru Tattva, which is a very vast subject. And now we're going to look at a special kind of Guru. In the first lesson we looked at the Guru principle, what a Guru is, why we need a Guru, how the Guru is one, how Gurus are different, and how all Gurus are different manifestations of the original Guru, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this lesson, we'll look at the, quote, founder Acaraya, the foundational spiritual master of all gurus and disciples in his line. So whenever I have an image up there, there's a reason. This is the title slide of the lesson. So raise your hand if you can tell us. Oh, I see you're taking notes, it's very good. But remember, I already took all the notes, which I'm happy to share with you at the end. So, but you can write down questions. That's what's good to do, because you might forget them. Because I ask you the questions, and through while I'm presenting the points, the slides, and then you ask me at the end. So make a note, mental or physical or electronic. Yes. Any mobile phones on here? Tray tables in the upright position, seat backs up, seat belts fastened. Thank you for choosing Goloka Airways. You know you have a choice. Yanti Vedvrata Devan. Okay, so raise your hand if you can tell us who is right over here. Raise your hand.
Yes.
You didn't read that. Right, and who's that?
Nargoni?
Good guess.
Oh, I know.
Wait a
Madhvacharya?
Yeah, Madhva.
It's Madhva.
Madhva. Although Srila Madhvacharya accepted Diksha, initiation, and sannyas from one Achyuta Preksha Swami, that was his Diksha and sannyas guru, Achyuta Preksha Swami, Madhva's. Since Madhva received the most shiksha from Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur listed Madhva as Vyasa's disciple in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. You know that disciplic succession list we have in the books? Was made by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, with the exception of the last one, Prabhupada. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said this is a Bhagavat Parampara. It's a line of Bhagavat instructors. It's a Shiksha line. A line of instructors and instructors. Following Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, our Srila Prabhupada noted in 2 early letters. These letters appeared in 1969, these letter excerpts I'm about to share with you. In the beginning of ISKCON there were no books. Can you imagine in ISKCON there were no books? No. It was Prabhupada. There was no... Even his Bhagavad Gita, that's okay. I was warned about you. Okay. Even Prabhupada, there was no Gita. Prabhupada was just lecturing. So finally in 1969, at the end of 68 actually, 2 books came out. And by January 69, what were the 2 books? A heavily abridged Gita, purple cover, black Vishnu silhouette. 2/3 of it were cut out. Because the publishers, Macmillan, they were terrified it wouldn't sell. So they insisted that Prabhupada, cut it down to 1/3 the size. And then they padded it with all these counterculture praises of the Gita from all these well-known people, so people would buy it. Yeah. So in January 69, just a couple of months after the Gita came out, people started asking questions like, what's this disciplic succession? What is that? What is that list all about? And how come Arjuna's not in the list? Arjuna, our hero in the Bhagavad Gita, he's not in there. How come? So Prabhupada writes, quote, disciplic succession does not mean one has to be directly a disciple of a particular person. Prabhupada says, rather, disciplic succession means to accept the disciplic conclusion. And Prabhupada said, yes, Arjuna accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, right, 10th chapter. And Lord Chaitanya also accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, things equal to the same thing are equal to each other, Prabhupada quoted in mathematical axiom. And then he gave a nice example, another nice example. He said if you have a big tree, say a big oak tree, and then you go way over here to this branch and you pluck a leaf, and you go way over there and you pluck a leaf, and then Prabhupada said you rub them. He said the taste is the same, the characteristics of them are the same. So we're in the same line as Arjuna because we're both accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's not a matter of being in a line of initiators and initiated in life. It's not like that. It's all about accepting the same conclusion, Prabhupada said. That's what it means to be in the disciplic succession. So this Shiksha, or Bhagavat Parampara, includes both the book Bhagavat and the devotee Bhagavat. Prabhupada says, devotee Bhagavat. And a devotee Bhagavat is somebody who's an Acaraya, who's teaching by example, who teaches the book by his personal example. Quote, the Acaraya Sampradaya is strictly bona fide, people who are examples of the teaching, right? Acharyas. Therefore, one must accept the Acaraya Sampradaya, otherwise one's endeavor will be futile. You have to be coming in a line of people who are living it, not just mouthing it, but actually practicing what they preach. So as we'll see in this lesson, it is from the Acaraya Sampradaya culture, a culture of examples, that the founder Acharya phrase emerges in our Gaudiya Vaishnava line. Let's explore the origin and evolution of, quote, founder Acharya. So this is a history lesson. It's actually the next 5 lessons are history lessons. I realized one day. So here we go. We're going to see how the founder Acharya concept emerged over about 450-year period. See, look at this, founder. That's an English word, right? Founder, that's an organizational kind of word. Acharya, that's Sanskrit. It's got spiritual overtones. So it's a complex English-Sanskrit hybrid compound. Let's see how it took hundreds of years for that to evolve in the Gaudiya line. Okay, so who would like to read? You would.
In the 16th century, after the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his chief disciples, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, founded the Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya.
Yes, so let's find out what that means. Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha. Lord Chaitanya's dates, appearance and disappearance by the Christian calendar. Anybody remember his dates?
1486. 1486.
1486 to
15.
the 48 years. You do the math.
1434. So 1534.
1534. So within maybe a dozen years from Mahaprabhu's disappearance in 1534, somewhere in the 1540s, the 6 Goswamis started something organized. Organized religion. Oh no! But it's as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta once said, it's a necessary evil, because without being organized, you can't accomplish much on your own, or if you have a million factions, right? But as soon as you do organize, what happens? Then bureaucracy comes in, and people get attached to their position, and there's power, and abuse of power. So it's kind of a necessary evil. Anyway, they started something organized. And let's find out what Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha means. Mataji, you want
The Vishwa Vaishnava Rajya Sabha is a gathering of devotees who worship the king of all Vaishnavas in the world, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
This is according to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in his father's Sajjana Toshini journal. So, Vishva Vaishnava, it's the sabha, it's the gathering or assembly or congregation of devotees who worship the Vishva Vaishnava Raj, the king of the world's devotees, Lord Chaitanya. Did you happen to get those throat lozenges?
Keshapriya.
Who?
Keshapriya.
Yes,
Sabrina?
she's just coming in a few minutes.
Okay, good. I'm going to need it. I can feel it coming. I think that was last night's water. Okay. So that, my dear devotees, is an organizational seed of the founder Acharya phrase. Something was organized. Something sprung up within a dozen years. Get the mops. Something sprung up within a dozen years after Mahaprabhu disappeared. So I call this an organizational seed of the Dhamma-Acharya principle. So that was 1540s. And then in 1552, something happened in the Gaudiya Vaishnava world. Kandiya, Kandiya, weeping and weeping, Srila Rupa Goswami. He finished writing a certain book. Anybody know?
Bhakti Rasamrita
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yes. That was his most famous work. Okay, you want to read?
In his,
Okay, no talking.
In his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sri Rupa Goswami identified the fourth principle of devotional service as sadhu vartmano vartanam, which Srila Prabhupada later translated in the Nectar of Devotion as following in the footsteps of great acharyas, teachers, under the direction of the spiritual master.
Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Prabhupada are making a distinction between great acharyas and one's personal spiritual master. Prabhupada did this in the introduction too. Quote, in our mental activities we should always try to think of Krishna and try to plan how to please him, following in the footsteps of the great acharyas and the personal spiritual master. As we saw in lesson 1, there's differences. All gurus are one, but they're also different. Remember how they differ from last night's lesson? How do gurus take me to your lodging? Oh, it's fisherman's friend. I don't fish, but I don't gamble, I don't fish. But, thank you. Salmiak. This is Danish? Salmiak? Okay.
It's like salty licorice.
Okay. So we're making a philosophical distinction. Oh yes. So how was the guru one? Remember from last night? How are all gurus the same? In what sense? Remember?
Because
Wait.
Because the Guru Tat was one.
Come on. That's too vague. Nice try though.
Because they're repeating the disciples.
Yeah, they're repeating Krishna's message, right? They're in parampara. They're repeating the message of Krishna. How do they differ? Remember there's 3 ways they differ from last night's lesson? By the
Different dealings.
role they play, right? Different dealings. By their personal qualification. They're on different levels, right? It's obvious. And what else? By the commitment they make. Like some gurus only commit as far as introducing you, right, to the parampara. Like who introduced Prabhupada to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta? Do you know?
His friend.
His friend named.
I don't remember.
His friend Narendranath Bulik. Prabhupada said, I didn't want to go. He dragged me. I didn't want to go. You'll see that in lesson 4. Yeah, salty licorice, you're right. Okay, and then the one who really commits the most, he's giving us the most what? Shiksha, instruction. Constantly instructing us. That's the full commitment. Okay, so, observation. As a child may see his parents as everything at first, but then matures to see them in perspective. So a disciple may see his spiritual parents and relatives, his shiksha and diksha gurus, as everything at first, but then matures to appreciate them in relation to the great acharyas. Yeah, that's natural. You know, like when you're a little kid, right? Your parents are everything. But if they're good parents, what do? They introduce you to even greater people, and then you really appreciate them because they're bringing you closer to the greatest. So similarly, our Diksha and Shiksha Gurus their main job, one of their main jobs, is to bring us closer to the founder Acharya and the whole parampara and Krishna. And if they do that, they're the most important people in our lives. That's why we love them, because they bring us closer to Prabhupada and the parampara and Krishna. So there's a kind of philosophical distinction there. You're going to hear in a later lesson Prabhupada refer to one's personal spiritual master as a regular guru. And then in one case he refers to the spiritual master as an ordinary spiritual master. It sounds wild. This is coming up in lesson, tomorrow night. So there's different kinds of gurus on different levels. So great acharyas, they are in a different category, by and large, than one's, Diksha, Shiksha Guru. Sometimes they're the same people, like Prabhupada's Diksha Guru happened to also be the founder Acharya of the Gaudiya mission. But that's not common. Or my Diksha Guru happened to be the founder Acharya this time. But my core identity is what? What did I say last night? My core identity is not that I'm Prabhupada's initiated disciple, it's that I'm his
instructed follower.
And we all share that identity. Guess what? We're all the same family, just different generations, that's all. Okay, so far we have an organizational seed. The Vishwa Vaishnava Raj Sabha, something organized started just after Mahaprabhu left. And then we have a philosophical seed. There's a distinction. There's a oneness of gurus, but there's a beta, a difference too. Not all on the same level. And now, let's look at how one famous disciple saw his great initiating guru in relation to an even greater acharya. So 1540s organizational seat, 1552 Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu comes out. It was a bombshell. The Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava community immediately recognized Sri Rupa as what you're going to see coming up now. There is a depiction of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Let's see. How about
In his Pratana collection, Srila Narottam Das Thakur wrote in the 4th verse of Psalm 17, a song to Srila Rupa Goswami.
Yes, Prarthana. This is circa 1560. Most scholars agree. Narottam came out with his 60-70 song collection. And we sing those songs every day in ISKCON. Sri Guru Charana Padma, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. When someone disappears, it's Ye Nilo Premadana. Many famous songs we sing. But before I give you the verse here from the song, does anybody know how, this is annoying, isn't it, as you're hearing me chew my, sorry. Does anybody know how Narottam Das Thakur was initiated? Who was Narottam Das Thakur's initiating guru? Yes. Yes, it's quite a story.